Now, at the same time, the Zionist Jews are saying that they are waiting for the Messiah who's going to turn those Christians into slaves for the chosen people. Now, these motherfuckers have a problem. Either one of them is going to be slaves or one of them is going to burn to death. I mean, I hate to see the surprises on their face on that day. This is fucking crazy. This is the former head of the CIA. He's dancing with Israeli soldiers. I mean, what are we going to do? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be totally honest. When I see things like that, when I see the former governor of South Carolina, like Nikki Haley or Ramallah, whatever his name is, Nomarat, and she was the former UN ambassador going to Israel to sign bombs, and you have the former head of the CIA here, he's doing it, dancing like a fucking hoe. Yeah, my goodness, like what? You know, Mike Pompeo is a fucking idiot, man. He's a corrupt politician. Every politician that Donald Trump brought into the White House is corrupt. They're all corrupt. We're going to go down to Washington and drown and drain the swamp. He brought the biggest swamp in the world to Washington. Donald Trump surrounded himself with the biggest, the most corrupt human beings in history. He emptied what's that Goldman Sachs, the banking company in New York, and made him part of the administration. I mean, every single corrupt human being, they all went to jail. Look at him. They either resigned on the scandal or went to jail or were indicted. Every single person except Donald Trump. All right, let me see if they have any more on Donald Trump. Let me see. Same people there, they're protesting. Yeah. All right, guys. Any questions? Let me show you what Israel, over the last week, the ICC indicted Israel, and they said they're going to bring some, what do you call it? They're going to put arrest warrants on Netanyahu and all the fucking criminals in Israel. And listen to this report. This is crazy. Israel is a fucking rogue nation, man. They scare the shit out of me, man. Because I know, as an American citizen, I have no value when it comes to Israel. My value is zero. You know, zero? I swear to God, I know that for a fact. I have no value as an American citizen when it comes to Israel. You got to know what you got to know, man. You cannot lie to yourself. Here you go. Let's watch this together.
It sounds like something out of a Hollywood thriller. A spy chief persuades a top prosecutor.
Wait, let me give you the introduction. A former ex-spy of the Mossad was asked to spy on the International Court of Justice in The Hague in order to subvert the court and blackmail them into not ruling against Israel. This is fucking James Bond shit over here, man. This is a nation. This is a rogue nation. Israel is a rogue, illegal nation.
Not to file charges against his nation, even though it's been accused of committing atrocities. Well, that appears to be the latest chapter in real life for Israel against the International Criminal Court. Now, the story begins back in 2015. Then International Criminal Court top prosecutor began investigating Israel's possible list of crimes against the Palestinian people. According to The Guardian, then director of Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency, Yosef Cohen, began exercising pressure tactics against her. Now, his efforts did not work as her investigation culminated in the ICC's arrest warrants last week for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and 3 Hamas leaders as well.
Per The Guardian, which cited multiple sources familiar with Cohen, they were able to confirm his activities, including confirming his desire to recruit her to drop her probe of the Palestine case and cooperate with Israel's demands instead. Cohen, whose work against the ICC spanned years, was authorized at the highest level of Israel's government. Bensouda formerly reported this pressure campaign to the ICC and, as reported in The Guardian, allegedly said, quote, "You should help us and let us take care of you. You don't want to be getting into things that could compromise your security or that of your family." A spokesperson.
This is mafia shit. We should listen. You should help us out so we could help you. We don't want nothing to happen to your family. This is mafia motherfucking. These people are dangerous, man. And they have nuclear weapons.
Netanyahu denied these claims.
There was strong reaction on X. Investigative journalist Max Blumenthal posted, quote, "Ex-Mossad director Yossi Cohen attempted to recruit then ICC prosecutor Fatou Bensouda. When that failed, he unleashed threats and reputation destruction. I wonder if the Mossad managed to recruit Julia Stibudite, the Ugandan ICJ judge who always votes in Israel's favor." Norman Finkelstein also weighed in. He has written a book really fittingly on the subject and said it was perfectly, already 4 years ago, I wrote a full book documenting Bensouda's disgraceful record of whitewashing Israel. It was perfectly obvious at the time that extra legal pressures were being exerted on Bensouda. Indeed, I stated in the very last sentence of my book that Israel was bringing to bear every squalid and sordid instrument in its arsenal against the ICC. Ooh, so this was a real bombshell. Frankly, with so many other news stories percolating around, the magnitude of this, I think, isn't quite hitting the way it should. But the argument here, what is being reported here, is that after opening this investigation in 2015, an Israeli Mossad agent, an intelligence agent, basically tried to get compromise on the ICC prosecutor's husband, tried to blackmail her.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty threatening language, like your family's safety, you know, could be enhanced by you. It's a very mob kind of like, you know, you should give us protection money kind of thing. But they weren't seeking money. They were seeking a favorable or a dropping of this case or favorable verdicts in evaluating Israel's behavior. I mean, yeah, what can you say about it? It's obviously corrupt and bad, and they have, in fact, Israel is denying, Netanyahu is denying having done this thing at all. This is reporting from The Guardian, so take of that what you will, but it seems pretty.
And it's very good reporting. There was a lot of corroboration of a bunch of different witnesses who were involved in having exposure to various parts of this over the years. The article, the Guardian report, likened the behavior to, quote, stalking. He was able to acquire her telephone number and called her repeatedly. And when she asked, how do you know my phone number? Apparently Cohen responded, "Did you forget what I do for a living?" Cohen is apparently known for having a reputation of doing a really good job of recruiting kind of foreign individuals to work with him to advance the interests of the Israeli government, I suppose. And that, I think, is the root of Max Blumenthal's tweet asking whether or not this ICJ judge, who is often the standalone with Israel against some of the decisions that have come out, has also been influenced in these apolitical and frankly illegal sorts of ways.
But that's just speculation, right?
Yeah.
There's no evidence that this Ugandan official, I mean, I guess it is plausible. We're learning about the efforts Mossad undertook to stonewall the investigation, but we're not, that's just kind of, you know, guesswork.
I mean, it's incredible that this kind of thing is not just coming out, but it's being reported in The Guardian and taken really seriously. I've mentioned this a couple of times over the course of the last couple of days since the Sunday strike in Rafah, but it does feel like there's a discernible tone shift. You saw it in some of the, you know, really kind of mainstream reporters who were asking questions that were sort of emotionally charged of the State Department spokespeople. You know, how many charred bodies is it going to take? You've seen some really great reporting, frankly, coming out of CNN, on the ground reporting. They were one of the entities that was able to say, no, we see that there are tanks in central Rafah, so you can't make the argument that Biden's red line hasn't been violated, with the red line was a ground offensive in Gaza. And now you're having outlets like The Guardian covering not just the idea that Israel was displeased with the ICC, or that Israel might use kind of diplomatic means or apply kind of public pressure to get its way.
Yeah,
and remember, we saw this a little bit with the ICJ, right? The ICJ came out with this preliminary decision that it would continue an investigation into the genocide claims because what was happening was plausibly a genocide.
So what we're watching here, that the Zionist country called Israel is able to threaten the International Court prosecutor, telling him it's better for you and your family's security to help us and work with us. This is what happens in the United States. In New York, the mafia used to go to your business. You have a beautiful restaurant here, you got a lot of customers. I don't want nothing to happen to it. The whole issue is Israel could get away with a lot of shit, man. I don't know. The United States, sometimes I wonder what our nuclear weapons are. If we turn on these motherfuckers, they're going to blow up the whole country. Trust me. I do not trust the Israeli government or the Israeli thing.